Hi, and welcome to our end of the year 2023 episode.
Hello. Hi. We are
Uh,
wrapping up 2023 and so many changes, so many things change, so many things we're looking forward to doing. So I am glad that we got a chance to talk again because we've done interviews, and I feel like
yeah,
we needed some.
this year has been our year of interviews, basically. Yeah, and I guess we could talk about what happened in the year for both of
Yes.
us too. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. But we learned a lot from the interview. So it was eye-opening, and I did like meeting all the new people, and
Yeah,
make connections that way, and then you can see that it's like a spider web, like it starts to make connections, and that's really good. But I
yeah,
do miss us chit-chatting and
yeah,
talking about our journey, so I'm looking forward to this episode.
yeah. It's been a while since we chit-chatted.
So
So
we're recording this, and who knows, we're recording this around October, no, November.
no, it's November now, yeah.
So we don't know what's going to happen in the next month, but this is where we are kind of planning. I'm trying to figure out my background. There we go. One thing I like that and this is fine, is in the episode at the beginning. I'm looking back. We've been doing this for 3 years now, which,
Yeah.
yay, 3 years, right?
I don't think
I don't
so.
know.
I
two
think it's two
years,
and a half.
two
I
and a
think two
half
and a half.
years. I mean, we kept it going, and I'm happy, and I think we have grown so much from doing this. It really has expanded our whole network and our appreciation for this journey, I think. Um, but one thing I'm really happy about is at the beginning, we were so nervous about everything being perfect. And we had a script. And now it's like, it's like, I look forward to it more because it's more relaxed. It's more like, just
Yeah.
go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we would write down like almost every
Yes.
sentence we were saying. It sounded
And
like we
we,
were reading from a script.
yeah. And then we're like, oh, make sure we're grammar ready and this and that. And I'm like, no, okay, no, I am honestly, I have no makeup on. I have nothing on. And I'm like, I feel a little bit more relieved that
Yeah.
it is what it is, whatever. And people got to know that we're pretty real with our conversations and everything. So yeah, I am super glad that it's unscripted, is whatever it is.
Relaxed.
It
More
is
relaxed.
relaxed. So, but there are some things that we're going to talk about that we wanted to touch for this year.
Well, I wonder, but I was gonna say maybe
Yeah.
instead of jumping into what we were talking about recapping what
Hmm.
in our notes. This doesn't have to be in it. But maybe we should just talk about what happened throughout the year. We haven't
Okay.
be first.
I haven't even, like, what has happened this whole year?
You had a book come out.
Doesn't it seem like, so it's actually what, 6 months? 6 months the book has been out. And it
Yeah.
feels like it's been out for years. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like,
Yeah.
um, it is an incredible year. Like now that you're making me think of the stuff that
Yeah, a
happened
lot
this year,
happened
a
this year.
whole lot.
We went to Awesome Con. You were at Awesome Con. I mean,
Yeah, that
what
was
is
pretty cool.
that?
Yeah.
What-
You know what? I we should have done a list of,
Why do you want to do that?
no, we just
Oh,
go with it,
we can talk about
of
it.
things to be grateful for, because
Yeah.
honestly, we could, oh my gosh, I want to say so much. I went from a super, super busy to like nothing. And now I have to sit down and go, yeah, but so much, you're right. So much happened this year. And a
Hmm.
lot of it was wonderful, wonderful things that I am
Yeah.
incredibly grateful for.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that you went through them with me too. And so many things happened to you too. There's just, this is a fantastic year to recap, honestly. This went the gamut, like
Yeah.
everything.
It's
So
been all over the place.
the things that stand out in my mind right now. My debut book came out April 18, 2023. Yes, 2023.
Hmm.
Which was amazing and a wonderful experience. I'm eager to do it again. I know now that this is what I love to do. Um, I, I Another thing that stands out, I don't know why it stands out so much, is because I loved it. Summer folio. It happened, like Illo chat happened over a weekend that we were like, we should do this. And we did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Summer folio was the same thing. Summer folio, I'm
Yeah.
like, I think I want to do this. And then it was awesome. I enjoyed it so much. And I got a lot of my portfolio pieces from there. Like it served the purpose. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that sticks out in my mind a lot as one of the most successful and things that I'm proud of that I've done. AwesomeCon was awesome, and all the bookstores and the schools,
School
those things were,
visits.
yes. I like how, how nervous I get, and I used to plan and worry about something for weeks before it was even there. So I had ruined my whole week worrying about something that was going to happen at the end of the week or whatever. Now it's like, I have a school visit this week, and I'm like, okay, I'll do that when I'll think about it the day before I have to think about it.
Yeah.
And I admire people that can do that, that say, I worry about it when I need to worry about it. I used to be, I'll worry about it before and after and during, and I'd be miserable until the moment of, and then rethink everything I've done so that I can replay it in my head. It was incredibly silly. But I'm able to get past that now.
That's
And,
awesome. Yeah,
and
that's
I
great.
love that. It's so freeing. I have to tell you, so freeing. What I taught a class for the SCBWI at an intensive. That's
Yes.
something else. With a broken hand, and you helped me. And
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
really cool. Like this, I think this is the year where I could say it's not about success. This is the year where I can say, wow, I feel like I found my place. When I first joined the SCBWI, and I would go to the classes, and I would go, and now I'm like teaching the classes. I feel like I found my village where I want to be, and I'm super happy. So that's the main things that I can say I'm grateful for and happy, and that I'm successful. I'm sure there's a lot of little ones that I'll forget around along the way, but that's my year in a recap. I will talk about the broken hand and all that in a
Yeah.
minute.
That's the most recent
That's the most
recap.
recent one. What about you? You had
Oh,
a big one too.
yeah. I mean, I left my agent. I had a reawakening this year. like like
A
a
renaissance.
reimagining. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you call it. I'm just trying to um adjust my life to so that I could be happier. That's kind of what I was aiming for. Is I realized at the beginning of the year that I was not happy with the way things were working out and the way things were, and I wanted to change it. So I spent the rest of the year, um, yeah, uh, adjusting my entire life so that I could um do like, yeah, basically applying for jobs and full-time jobs, and then not taking that slowly, not taking on as many design clients as I was, and tapering that off. And then I got to go to AwesomeCon with you, which was awesome. That was great. And then also so glad I got to be a part of your book launch at
Yes. Oh, that was so fun.
Dancing Bear. That was in Curious Iguana. That was so fun. And yeah, and I got to meet your family, and like
They're a
yeah, this
crazy
was our
bunch,
year.
right?
Yes. They're fun. They're just as fun as you. And but it was like, yeah, it was kind of our year of in-person things because we've been so, everything has been virtual for
Yeah.
years. So that it was really fun to have so many in-person things this year. And then your in-person class, like you've taught classes before, but they were online. So this was really cool to see people and actually get to experience it in person. Um, yeah. And then a lot of things have happened to us personally with our families too. That are huge, like life-changing events.
Yes.
So it's been a really intense year if we think about it, of all the things that have happened. It's pretty cool.
I think
Um,
these are like, there are years in between that are like I'm going to take this back to books, you know, like there's illustrations that just cannot carry the story forward. And then there's the big illustrations that are the big movements. This year was big illustrations in our lives, the big ones, the ones that change.
They were all 2-page. Yeah, a lot of 2-page spreads.
The ones that change the trajectory of where we're going.
Yeah.
They were big moments.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to go first or I want to go first?
Why don't you go first? You go first with the most recent stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about the recent things that happened.
So the reason why I was like, Sunny, I really want to do this. Remember, all my ideas happen in the shower for some reason. I really don't know, but I'm telling you, it's the best places where I come out of there and it's like, there's clarity. For a moment, there's clarity. So I broke my hand this year, towards the end of the year. And it wasn't a little break. It was a big break. I had to have 3 pins put in by the area of the finger, and then 2 big pins at the bottom. It's still very swollen. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I'll spare you the yucky
It looks so much better though
than
it did with the pins sticking out of your hand.
And it was just so. The one thing I was incredibly grateful when it happened, and it happened because there was a loose sheep in our neighborhood. And it was just roaming around, afraid of all the dogs. So I'm like, okay, well, we grabbed it. My husband and I grabbed it, and we're like, we'll call animal control. And so because it was like everybody in the neighborhood was like, oh, there's a sheep. And we're like, okay, we'll just hang on to it. We put the dog leash on it because we had nothing else. This is not a farming area. Like there's farms around us, but we are not a farming neighborhood.
It came from the fair though, right?
It had been on the fair because it was already like, you know, marked that it had gone to the fair.
So no, it was just from a local farm?
There's a lot of farms around us. And it had a little tag for a 4-H. 4-H is something that like, it's like husbandry. Like you take care of an animal and then you go to the fair and you can get money for scholarships or for school. You know, a lot of people do that. So, excuse me. So it was tagged. It was this poor little sheep, no matter what. I mean, it was this, she doesn't belong there, and all the dogs are backing at her. So she was really spooked. And we go ahead and we keep her. And in a moment, you know, those decisions that you have in a moment, and then they change your life. It's like at least for a few months. My husband had said, I'll stay with the sheep. You go ahead and get the dogs out, Bongo and Sophie. And I said, no, you know what? I'll stay with the sheep and you take them out because they obey you more. Because in my head was, these dogs are going to listen to my husband and they're going to go pee and do their thing and then go back inside. Oh, no, they smell the sheep. And funny enough, Bongo, the one right there, that little goofy animal right there, he took a beeline around our property and went straight down where I was with the sheep.
Yeah.
I wasn't smart in that moment. I had the leash in my hand, and then I also wrapped it and had it here, like while I was checking my phone and, you know, worried, like just waiting, when all of a sudden I see Bongo running down at full speed because he had never seen a sheep.
Yeah.
So he's going like, there's this monster, you know, attacking my owner. And it was just standing there waiting. Yeah. And the sheep freaked out. But I don't even know why I was holding the leash, because the other end of the leash was tied to the post. I didn't have to hold the leash. It was just those moments where you're not thinking. So Bongo was doing what he was supposed to be doing. The sheep was doing what she was supposed to be doing. She was trying to get away from Bongo.
The sheep was being a sheep.
And let me explain Bongo. Okay, so when Bongo sees a goose outside or a chicken or any bird, he's like, bark, 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 bark. And I'm like, fine, go out, you brave boy. And he won't go out. Yeah. Because he's not a brave boy. That day, he actually went. He didn't try to attack the sheep, but he was like barking right at her. And I'm assuming it's a her. I have no idea. I didn't check down there. And and she took the leash and my hand. And I swear in that moment, I knew it broke. I was like, it was like in slow motion. I'm like, it definitely broke. And then I was like, okay, forget the hand, save your glasses, because my glasses, and I only had one. And I only had one pair of glasses there, and they were on the floor facing down, and my whole mind was like, save your glasses. So I'm grabbing my glasses. It was weird, but I knew it was broken, and thank God I had the mindset to take off my wedding ring because my hand was
Yeah.
swelling so fast. And then, well, that whole thing, it was and after that, after the pain, after the pins and the operation and all that, the only thing I was thankful for that it wasn't my drawing hand. And like,
Yeah.
this could have been, I don't know, because this is my whole thing. I love this. And if I wouldn't, I think if I couldn't draw, I think I will have to learn to draw with my feet. I will do whatever I have to do to continue in this. So I'm grateful that it wasn't that. But it was combined. So I have to rest and put my hand up and all that. And I discovered something about myself, which I kind of knew before, because, you know, when I think in an episode back, I go, you know, when I go on vacation and I get off my routine, it takes me longer to get back on it. If I go on a 1 week vacation, it takes me 2 weeks to get back
Yeah.
onto, you know, being a productive, active member of society. I don't know. So I had to rest my hand, and then it also coincided that my kids have grown. They are, one went off to university, the other one is graduating high school, and he can drive. And now I was like, huh, I don't have to get up at 6. I don't have to be somewhere at this time. I don't have to pick up anyone. I don't have to drive anyone. So other than getting up to take the dogs out, I was like, huh, well, I can do that a little later. And it began this lack of structure plus the hand resting. And I found that I became very unproductive, super unproductive. Like, I have a book dummy to do, or a story that I had in my head, and something that I would whip out in a couple of hours with full excitement, and just like, it was just dragging on. And I would sit down and write 2 sentences and then go off to look at something else or watch TV or something. And it was like very unlike me, because I've always been a go, 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 go. So I told you that I had to have a mommy talk with myself. And after a couple of weeks, I was like, this is enough. Like, literally, I was talking to myself. I was like, okay, yes, your hand is broken, but your feet are not broken, and your mind is not broken. And why are you sitting on that couch all day? And what, like, literally, so I gave myself, I'm like, a structure, and not a punishment, but I'm like, you're not allowed to sit on that couch until the evening. You're going to have to find something to do. So when I was at my most productive was when I had very little time to work. Which actually will tie into your story perfectly. It seems like you and I are always on opposite ends of our journey. It's like, when I am starting, you are finishing. When you're finishing, I am starting. It's funny. So this was a big mommy talk, and it helped me. And that's when I told you, oh my goodness, I need a routine. I don't function when I have too much time. I always complain about not having enough time to do things. And I realize that works for me. I'm not trying to say or glorify being busy. I'm talking about structure, about from this time to this time, I need to do this. Because if you give me 18 hours to do this, it's going to take me 18 hours. But if you give me, you have like a deadline, and I think then I will meet that deadline, and I'll make it happen. And I'm actually more excited about it, instead of just looking for reasons why I don't have to do it right now. So that is one thing that helped me, having the little mommy talk with myself. It's funny. I said that because it's like, sometimes you have to, I don't know, like, get yourself out of the funk. No one else is going to come and do this for you. No one's going to make you do this. No one's going to, you kind of have to do it for yourself. And I'm glad I did that. So yes, took a shower, and not that I wasn't showering all this time. It sounds like I wasn't showering. I was.
But that wasn't it the first shower you were able to do by yourself? Or
Yes.
the second?
Okay. Yes.
So
because of the injury, I had to wait for someone to help me. Like, my husband to help me shower and this and that. I don't like that. I had to wait I couldn't drive. I had to wait for someone to take me out. I couldn't even,
had to help getting dressed.
Yes. Like it was like, and it wasn't like feeling sorry for myself, but it was kind of like, it was kind of like a big slowdown. And I tell you, it was combined with now my kids not needing me in those daily basis, which should help everybody that is going through a moment of, oh, there's so much going on right now. Every season ends. Every season ends. And the time that you have right now that you're going crazy and you feel like you can't do it too much, or you're having children, you're pregnant, you're have an elderly parent that is feeling ill, you are sick, work, anything, it does adjust itself later on. Things do, fluctuate. That's life. Yeah, so we came, and that first shower, you're right, the first shower that I could take for myself, and I could feel like, okay, I'm coming out of this
like a
wreck.
funk. Yeah.
Yes, I'm coming out of this. Because even before my trip to California, which was an amazing trip, I finished 2 book dummies because I wanted them done before I left, and I got them in. And it was after I came back from that trip, and I was like, everything went like slowed down too much. So I will talk about what I am starting. I think I want to talk about, I'm just going to mention here Folio Camp, which is my new idea that I've been like brewing in the back of my head, but I want to talk about that at the end of the episode. So stay tuned for the end of the episode for Folio Camp, because I want to make it like big, and I want to give you time to talk to it, because I've been chit-chatting all the time.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say though, I think I really think the shower made a huge
Shower
difference
helped.
for you. Like
Yeah,
when you
it felt like a
lost
win.
that, yeah, it was. But you made it, but you also make it sound like you were in that for a long time. But you were only, I mean, you had a lot going on even when you broke your hand, and you still taught a class. You still
Yeah, and
had
you mentioned
mentorships
that.
going on, and you still didn't finish the book dummy, and yeah.
But it was
lot.
a week and a half where I saw myself just sitting there, and I was like, I know that I can go down this road fast and become kind of complacent in staying there. And I don't like that. I don't like to do that. I'm like, okay, because I'm in my 40s. I'm going to be 50 next year. I'm 49.
Yeah,
I am
me too.
49.
Yeah.
And I want to get my next book deal, and I want it, and I don't want to waste more time. I already did all that. I already did everything that was around. I finally found my lane. I finally found what makes me really happy and I'm good at, and I enjoy it, and I want to go with it. I don't want to, I just don't want to waste any more time. So no, I, you know what I mean? Like, I have the energy now to do it. I don't want to keep waiting until I don't have the energy to do it. And I finally got to the point where my children are, embarking into their journey, and they don't need me to guide everything. They just need me to be here when they need me. It's my time. I should not now feel sorry for myself and not do anything. Instead, I should just be like, okay, now let's do this. Like, you said you wanted to get here, I'm here, let's go. Yeah, it's sometimes like scary new beginnings, right?
Yeah.
For you. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy though to think a year ago, the difference between your life a year ago and a year and now. It's like night and day. Because a year ago you were driving people around, your kids didn't have their licenses.
I was driving an average
chauffeur.
of 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
And I barely had enough time to do anything.
Yeah.
But a lot got done. So,
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I said this, but someone reminded me of this quote: if you want something done, give it to a busy person.
Ah.
It's so true.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so my I'm kind of on the opposite end of of everything I've been going through lately. Like I'm quitting everything. I'm like dumping everything. So I can
you did leave us with a big announcement on the last episode, so this one is a wrap up of that.
Yeah. So I quit. Yeah, I quit my agent, and then I reevaluated everything and decided I need to get a full-time job. And like I'm 49. I'm going to be 50 next year, and the lifestyle the life I was living right now, I was like, this is one, it's not sustainable. It won't be sustainable as I get older, but also it's not, I wasn't making enough for the amount of work I was doing. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is not, it was, that was what was making me unhappy. Not the work I was doing. I enjoyed the work, but also I we're getting older and I need to think about like retirement and benefits. Like, and my husband has those things, but I was like, but if I have the ability to earn a living and also contribute to that, I feel like I've always felt obligated to do that. And I also don't like being constantly working and not making much from it. Like I feel like that's taking away from my personal life, basically, like taking away from my family if I'm constantly working and not able to contribute in some way. But anyway, so yeah, so I quit freelancing and I started looking for a full-time job, and I have experience in electronic as an electronic technician and in telecommunications from previously. And so I was working looking in that field. Also have been looking in graphic design as well, like for jobs in that area. Um, but my skill set is like so niche, like it makes it difficult to find work in that area. Like book design is not a huge thing. And then I also was like, do I really want to sit and do book design for like educational publishers? Or and then I probably wouldn't, I know I wouldn't be making as much as I could in like telecommunications, which I would earn more. Anyway, so I did find a job and I started working 2 months ago. And so that's been like a huge adjustment for myself and my family and for Olga. And I'm so sorry.
No,
My
my body is not available from this time to this time. I'm
yeah.
not.
I mean, I can answer
Yeah,
something, but
sometimes.
yeah, I can't like jump on Zoom and we can't talk like any time during the day. And yeah, so like after like everything has to wait till after 4 o'clock. And so that's hard. That's hard getting used to.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's hard for my kids too because I can't pick them up every day after school. I can't. They have to walk home, which isn't far. They're fine. They're doing
yeah,
okay. And and then cooking dinner is hard. Like just managing all these things where before I honestly didn't realize how much time I had to dedicate to those things. Like I took it for granted. And
right, right.
now that I have less time, I have to be a lot more efficient. So I'm a lot more efficient with my time. I know that from this time to this time I need to do this and this, and then when I get home, this and this has to happen. And on weekends I have to get these things done in order to prepare for the rest of the week, or I'm gonna be a mess the rest of the week trying to catch up. So I have I've become a lot more efficient. I get things done quicker in less time. And it's funny because my laundry is always done. Now, where before I could put things off for a day. Oh, I just won't have clean clothes for a day or two. Like now it's like I have to have those clean, like I have to get these things done because I know I won't have time to do it. So yeah, things happen when they need to happen, which is also less stressful for me and my family.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like being on this schedule makes me one more productive, but also less stressed because I'm able to make it work and I don't have to. I'm not like kind of because what would happen before is I would put work over taking care of myself and the house and my
Yes.
family. And because my work was in the house.
And you
So
were picking up a lot of jobs that you didn't really
yeah,
like to bring money in. So it was kind of like
yeah,
it was the same amount of hours that you would have now, but
yeah,
now you don't have to do those jobs that weren't making you happy. Like
yeah.
this.
But I mean, I would work during the day, break for dinner, and then
Mhm.
go back to work after dinner. And I would work at night, and I was always on the computer, and it wasn't fair to me or my family. I would try to
Right.
turn things off, but it was hard because I wanted to bring in an income. So I was, I felt like I was constantly working, just
Y-
trying to
You
make
use
it
the word
happen.
hustle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was hustling. And
Yeah.
so once I started this job, I I don't have to hustle anymore. And I become a totally different person. I don't miss the hustle at all. I don't miss trying to work with freelance clients. I don't miss having to have that initial conversation where we figure out the project, and then but also trying to sell myself. I don't miss trying to look for work. I don't miss constantly not I really don't miss having to worry about, oh, am I going to have enough work next month? I'm good this month, but is next month going to be okay? That part was so stressful, where now I work every day and I know what I'm going to earn every
Right.
2 weeks. It's like incredible. And I'm not
This
having to sell myself constantly.
this should be a good reassuring thing for anyone listening that has a full-time job and still wants to do art. It's like, yes, it's okay. You are with the majority of freelance illustrators.
Yeah.
They have a full-time job outside of the home that is
Yeah.
nothing to do with art.
Yeah.
It's okay. You
It
can balance it. You can do it.
it removes a huge burden off of me. Uh this has, because whereas before, projects I would take on were based on money and monetary value, and it wasn't, and it wasn't always things that I wanted to do because I was trying to earn an income from it. So now I can work on things that I want to work on, and I don't have to worry how much I'm going to make from it, because it's so I can focus more on things I enjoy
Your
rather than,
projects. Yeah.
yeah, my own projects. It
Right.
doesn't matter if they're going to bring in anything. It's just what I want to do. So, um, I've been working full time for 2 months, but the first month was really difficult because I was untangling myself from all of my clients
Hmm.
basically, and I was basically working two jobs, and in the beginning, I thought, "Oh, I think I'll be fine if I just there's a few people I really love working with. I'll keep them on." And then when the jobs when I started my job, and I would come home, make dinner, and as soon as I'm done with dinner, I'm back on the computer. I'm like, "This is the life I didn't want."
Right.
This is why I started working full time, because I didn't wanna jump on the computer as soon as I got home. I wanna have more flexibility and be able to, and I didn't have any time to work on things that I wanted to. So that first month, I realized very quickly that everything needed to end. I couldn't manage this. My sanity wouldn't, w I need for my own sanity, I needed to, quickly end all paid clients, and because they didn't deserve me either. Like, they didn't deserve this version of me, because I couldn't give them 100%,
Hmm.
and I was too stressed. So as soon as I was able to end those, and honestly, I gave refunds. It was
You were
within
cleaning house.
yeah, within 2 weeks. I mean, that's the other thing. Like with book design, you have some people that start a project like a year prior. You may not hear anything for like 8 or 9 months, maybe a
Right.
year, because the illustrator is working on it, and I had several projects like that were open, and some that might not end until next year. So I was like, "Okay, this I don't wanna I need to end them all because
Because you
it."
were being booked as a graphic designer even before the illustrations were done. So
Yes.
here you're waiting for the illustrator to do all the work,
Mhm.
and you were already booked,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that book. And
Yeah.
then when the time they actually get, like you said, 8 months have passed, and you're
Yeah.
like, I'm in a different place in my life
Yeah.
than when I took
Yeah.
that job. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that happened for
Over and
several
over.
people, and
Yeah.
I was like, initially, I was like, "Oh, I'll just keep them and finish them, and those will be the last, and I won't take more." But as soon as I started working, I realized that was just not. It would not work for me. I needed needed to do a clean cut and end it, and I did issue some refunds, and then I gave some people files, whatever files we had where they were, sorry, here they are, because it wasn't going to be possible for me to. juggle both things and live the life that I wanted to live and work on my own things.
It hit me hard. No, I kind of like when a couple days ago you closed your or you started to like close down your graphic design
Yeah. I
page. I was
don't
like,
know why,
oh,
because that's on
this
my
is real.
illustration website. Yeah.
I don't I don't know. It just seemed like, oh, for real, we are really quitting this entire. But you always had Illustrator and graphic design
I
as
had
two
two
separate things.
websites,
Yeah.
yeah. And I have two
So
emails and I have two accounts for everything. And
and what was funny is like you barely were able to work in illustration because
yeah,
you were doing so much of the graphic design because that was
yeah,
bringing you money.
yeah,
And the other one, you had to prepare a new portfolio for a new agent for all that.
yeah,
And that was never getting done because you were always busy with the graphic design.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
And but that was why, yeah. And I started, I mean, I was working so much, yeah, because I was trying to make a living. So
right.
yeah, so I closed. I mean, I left my website up because, but that's the problem is people are still trying to contact me through my website. I was like, I need to make it clear that I didn't want to completely close my website because I already bought it for the domain for a year. And also I want past clients or future who would have been possible clients to be able to see that I'm not available. I don't want them to. I want something out there that shows I'm not available anymore. I'm probably going to post something on social media too, because I want, if there's people who worked with me in the past who are planning to work with me in the future, and they hadn't contacted me yet, I want them to see, oh, she's not doing this anymore.
Or referred you to someone else.
Correct. Yeah. People
Because
were
that happened
referring
often.
me. Yeah. So I don't want, I'm trying to find a way to let people know without having to send out a bunch of emails. And yeah, that. I mean, it has been hard letting that go because I enjoyed doing it, but because it was so time consuming and I can't continue. I can't
Yeah.
continue it. And like I said, I'm trying to find things. Really, I'm trying to relieve stress in my life, but also find ways to balance work and income and
Yeah.
family and what I want to do, my own projects.
So yeah, so now you have the time to do the things that
Mm-hmm.
you were wanting to do when you first got
Yeah.
here. So you solved the problem of money. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's solved.
Yeah.
Now I can go and get and put my creative energy into what you wanted to do in the first place.
Yeah. And the job I
Um,
have now is not in any way creative.
which is awesome because it doesn't use up your creative
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. That was another thing I found when I was trying to do, even though it was just book design, I feel like it was hard for me to flip to switch to my own creative projects because I felt creatively drained from working with them. And then like now, I mean, it is still hard to just jump in out of after working, 8 hours. But um, but I feel fresher and more, yeah, like less creatively drained. I feel now I'm just kind of tired because I wake up at 5 in the morning. But
Yeah. I think now you fall into like now you got to be careful not to fall into that trap of what the group that is working outside of the home complains about, that is like, oh, now I'm too tired to do that and
yeah.
I still have to balance life and children and all
Mm-hmm.
that. So now it's like, okay, now finding the time and the joy to want it bad enough to carve a weekend or a couple of hours here to work
Mm-hmm.
on that project. And even if that project takes longer, there's no deadline now. There's no boss telling you, oh, I paid
Yeah.
you for this many hours, or nothing. It's
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
and pursuing what it is that you want to pursue now.
Mm-hmm.
uh there's always so this actually shows you the two spectrums. Now it's like, okay, you can have too much time or you can have too little time. They're both a problem. They're both the
Yeah.
same, and they both require discipline on you, on your part, on you and me. Like discipline. If you want it bad enough, you'll go get it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, it really, that goes with anything. If you want it bad enough, you will make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
um and that's for everyone. So like we've had a few people say, what do I do at this stage of my life? How do you balance this? How do you balance that? There is no balance. It's kind of like you make it, you figure it out in between. You like, you make this happen in between life.
Yeah.
Make it part of it. It's all part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, for
I-
me, my other challenge is like, your kids are ending, I mean, they're more independent right now. And I have several, like, because I have four,
yeah, for
I I have several of mine are
you're
still, but
halfway there.
yeah, I'm still working towards that. And
Yeah.
yeah, so they still need me for things. But we're definitely working towards them being more and more independent every month. But yeah, so I'm still juggling that in my off time, which is
It's not your off time. That's your
just,
time.
yeah. Yeah. But it's okay.
It's
It's working out. It'll work out. And
it's
it's
all
not
right.
for forever. That's the other thing. Like everything.
That exactly. It's seasons.
Mhm.
Life is full of seasons.
Um, yeah, so I'm now that I've figured everything out and changed everything around and kicked all my clients out. I've tried to the challenge for me now is figuring out what are my next steps, like where am I going to go with the time I have now.
Right.
And I've started I updated my website for the my graphic design, I mean my book design website, but I want to update my illustration website so it's more current, and then also like um work on my portfolio, and I'd like to work on more stories. I have several ideas that I've been working on. That's one nice thing is like, you can always be thinking of stories. Like it's not like art where you need to sit down and sketch and you want to draw it out, and you can always think of ideas, but for stories they come all the time and you can just jot down your ideas. So that's been helpful for me at work. So sometimes I'll be doing something, I'm like, oh, there's an idea, and I write it down. So that's been nice.
So,
And
hey,
that's
you
where
can
I'm at.
work on, you can use summer folio to work on your illustrations for your
Yeah,
portfolio now, because you couldn't join in that moment. You were in the middle of looking for
of
the
a
job
book. Yeah,
and
I
the
was.
book.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you couldn't join summer folio, and they are like week long. But
yeah,
now you can do like a whole month or 2 months
yeah.
for one illustration, and so that's nice. And then maybe start
Hmm.
the year. I love the whole end of year thing, because it's just like, okay, now we have a new beginning of the year, and it just gives you like an arbitrary line to say, okay, I'm starting here, like it's fresh start. So I'm glad that you have, these are my next steps. Now that I cleaned all that up, this is my plan to continue now.
Hmm.
That's huge. Um, and I forgot to mention that one of the things that helped me when to get out of that lack of routine and get back a routine, it was to pick one thing and do that one thing. So if it was illustrating, even if it was a draw this in your style, okay, I got to do this one thing, because I couldn't focus on anything. It was just all over the place.
Yeah,
But now that
yeah.
I'm fresh, now that I am back to me and my capacity to, I'm like, okay, I got to get this together again. So I wanted to talk about folio camp, because it's summer folio worked really well for me. I did it for me originally. It was kind of like, okay, I'm going to do this. I need to rework my portfolio. But it's so much nicer to do it with a group, right? So I opened it up to whoever wanted to jump in, and a few of them in Illo chat community. That's a pretty cool community. It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
The
I feel bad. I haven't
I
been
feel
very active in
that
there lately.
you
But I had a lot going on
you do, you go in and you say, and you had a lot going on this
sometimes.
month.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes illustrators post in there and they're like, this is my version of this illustration, I'm open for feedback or something. And
Hmm.
sometimes, not every time, don't expect this every time, but sometimes we do jump in and we're like, you know what, this is how you can make it better. But it's not just us. What I like is the whole community goes in there and they're like, well, you could ramp up your values here, or maybe there's a tangent here, or there's something that
Yeah.
people can pick. Sometimes I ask for permission and I say, can I take your illustration, and then I do a draw over, and I get feedback from that. that I'm getting emails and messages going, I really like that you did this. That was very helpful. I have never gotten feedback like that. That is just like, this is what's wrong, but let me show you how to fix it.
Mhm.
And I keep getting, because my mentorships are closed because I'm doing the
Well, you're
SCBWI
doing
cohort.
mentorship. I mean, you're doing the
Yes,
cohort right now.
I'm doing
Yeah.
the SCBWI cohort right now, and I had the classes, and it was a debut year. So I had like school I had a lot of things going on that I didn't want to commit to a one-on-one. And one-on-one mentorships take me too long. It's
Mhm.
just, it's a lot. It just doesn't work out for my schedule to be able to take more than one client, or maybe, and then it's kind of like, is it worth my time?
It's a
I
big
don't know.
commitment for you.
It
Yeah.
is. At the beginning, it was fine before the book came out, but now it's not. So I'm going to change to group mentorships, and they're going to call, and because I'm tying them to summer folio, because I thought that was super cool, I'm going to call it folio camp. And I'm going to have two. One is going to be for portfolios only, and the other one's going to be for book dummies. And I was thinking it's going to be 6 weeks long. It will be a paid mentorship, so there will be a fee, but we will meet for 6 weeks. And if you're working on your portfolio, if you're in the portfolio one, we will work on portfolio pieces. We will rework it. We'll teach you. I mean, I will. It's not just a critique. I will show you how to fix whatever it is that we're talking about, and I will tie it with folio, with a summer folio, giving a prompt. If you don't have an idea of what you can have for your portfolio, well, here's a prompt, here's an idea, and just to get you started. And so it will be a class, and like a camp. I thought it was
Yeah.
like I kept thinking
Yeah.
like this, the Boy Scouts kind of camping.
Yeah.
And the same thing for the book dummies, because portfolios and book dummies are two different. And I'm thank you for that. You helped me figure that out. Like,
They
because
are. Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I cannot handle both at the same time. I'm not going to be able to give the dummies, um, the book dummies, the time they need, because that one we're working on pacing and
Mhm.
the actual, storytelling. And so that's what I'm going to do. Book dummy folio camp is going to be, if you have a book dummy that you're working on and you think you need help getting it together, get in there and I will help you get it there. And then if you're thinking that you want to start your portfolio again for submissions and you're ready to start this, get into the illustration
Yeah.
camp. I will run them several times. We'll see how much. I'm going to cap these to 5 participants only,
Yeah.
because I want to give them the time.
Do you think you can take as many for dummies as you can for like, do you think dummies take more time, or how does
Dummies
that?
take more time, but I can,
Yeah.
we can, because a lot of the, because I've done this already and I've done it with several people, I know that it's usually the same issues. Now, it does give me time to specifically work on the issues that this book dummy might have. But yeah,
Mhm.
so 5, I'm capping it at 5 for both of them. So that way
Yeah.
I can give each the time and that are required. So that's what I'm planning to do for next year. And I'm hoping it goes well. We're going to give that a try. I don't know how many times I'm going to offer it in a year.
Yeah.
I might try one-on-one, one portfolio and one book dummy, and see how that goes. But I figure that's 6 months. That's a month and a half. And I don't think I'll be running them at the
Wait,
same
you
time.
said
It's just
6
one or the other.
months. I
I'm
think you
sorry,
meant
sorry,
6
sorry.
weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll
No.
see. We'll see how that goes. Right now, the very first one, I'm just going to offer it in the Illo chat community group, and we'll see if there's enough participants that want to take advantage of that. If not, then I'll open it up, to everyone that wants to.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I'm going to be focusing on this coming year, to start that. Because
I think
yeah,
I think it's going to be very valuable. Like,
I like to
just
teach. Yeah.
by well, for you, but I mean for anyone that joins it, because it's a good way to push you to finish, you know,
Yes. When you
to
have accountability
finish
and
that project, yeah,
mm,
or finish your portfolio, or yeah, it'll help you. Really good.
at the very least, they will come up with a clear idea of how to take an
Hmm.
illustration from beginning to end, how to make sure it fits the paragrams. What paragrams, is that even a word? The
Pa-
the the
Parameters.
parameters, thank you, the parameters
Yeah.
needed for a narrative illustration for book, for children's books. And and we will discuss color and value and composition and line quality and all of this stuff within the style of the artist, because I had the classes that I have given, some artists are heavy in line and others, don't. So there is a way to make sure that everything works out and looks good. So yeah, that's where I'm planning to go next year. And of course, there's more changes coming, but I can't discuss those right now. And we'll worry about that when next year is going to be a new beginning, I think.
Yeah.
An exciting new beginning, new roads.
Yeah, we always enter New Year's with fresh eyes.
Yeah.
And lots of energy. And then like 3 months in, we're like,
oh yeah, I'm fizzling out. And then we realize the holidays are coming, and we're like, if we are going to submit anything, it needs to be now before the holidays come. And then
everything closes.
It has a life cycle, doesn't it? Yeah, just like everything. So this was a good wrap up. I hope that the new year is amazing for everyone. I hope the world gets in a better place. I know it's messy, but I don't want like we're not going to discuss anything.
No, we don't talk about politics
we
here,
don't.
but the world is a scary place right now, and we hope
it's an ugly place right now. We should
hope for peace for everyone.
Yeah, I hope that everybody just finds a little bit of more peace, and it all works out. I it's stupid to say it all works out. It's never going to work out. But
no, but
the world has always been a mess.
It has, but it's stressful. The world is very stressful right now.
But now bringing it back to our lives, it's kind of cool to see different chapters where I'm at. I'm so excited to see my kids go out into the world and see what they do and see that they are finding what they're excited about. And like that's really cool. I like this part.
Yeah.
So everything. I don't know.
It is cool.
Life is awesome.
Yeah.
Life is awesome. It is scary. It is sad. It is everything. And it is just a whole roller coaster, and you're in it for the ride.
True.
All right. You want to wish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah. Hope everyone has since we're doing this in November, hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving, holiday, New Year.
Holiday season.
Yeah. And we really appreciate you sticking around and listening, and your comments. Your messages are wonderful. Yeah, and we'll see you again in the new year.
Yeah, if you ever wrote us an email or send us messages, or thank you. They really mean so much, and it feels awesome to hear that. I don't know, that you're listening, and then that we're keeping you company while you're doing stuff. And I love that. This is so very sweet, and it feels like it gives us a purpose to make these conversations a little more open to everyone else. And that a lot of the stuff that we discuss touches people because they're going through the same thing.
Yeah, we're all going through it.
Wow. Happy New Year to everyone, and to very good beginnings.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.